Hey everyone, Shadow Rockets here, and today I'm going to be talking about the goods and the bads of Star Wars Battlefront. Now, as far as the game goes, I will say, to start off with, I enjoyed the game. I think that, as the title is going to say, I think that the best way to describe this game is it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's not a genre-defining game or anything. It's nothing crazy. I wouldn't say it's anything great, and I wouldn't say it's anything terrible. But I am going to start off with the bad things in the game, and that is just because I'd like to get the negativities out of here before I start talking about some positives. So hold on to your hats, because we're going to go into a lot of positives, and maybe some of them you haven't thought about, and maybe some of them I haven't noticed that you have. So go ahead and comment in the comment section below if you come up with something that I didn't say. So let's get right into it. The first thing I noticed was the poor edges. I don't know if you've kind of looked around, especially on the smaller map for the, 8v8 game type, but it is definitely just everything. Jagged edges, just so rough. I don't think I've seen jagged edges like this since Battlefront 2 or something, you know? It's just, they are so bad, and I realize that it's just like, I mean, the graphics are stepped up, yes, but you don't want to sacrifice the jagged edges. It makes it very hard for people to distinguish between characters and other people just moving out of the corner of their eyes. You know, I use my peripherals a lot in games because I have such good peripherals, and if I'm just seeing jagged edges moving around all the time, I can't tell the difference. I'm looking and I see a jagged edge, I'm just like turning and shooting at it, and I'm like, oh, that is actually just an edge. So that was pretty irritating. You know, nothing is smoothed out, excluding the ground. The ground is very nice. You see jagged edges just everywhere on edges of the ships and the rocks and whatnot. So, like I said, when you don't have glasses on, I mean, I don't usually use glasses to play, but sometimes I do, and that's only when I'm getting really into it. But that's just, I don't have them on all the time, like I said, and so it makes it hard to see. Now, my second gripe would be the melee is just so terrible. It's so laggy. Why would you do that? It's like your person just twitches halfway through it. I mean, it's the weird motion blur they added to it. It makes it look kind of nice, but at the same time, it's just, it feels awful. It feels like not even just the one twitch in the middle. I think there's three. I have to go through it and count, but there's either 2 or 3 spots where it just stops, and that's so odd. I don't know. It's like your elbow snap out of place or something. I don't know what they were thinking with that. I mean, there is that weird twitch when you're running, and that sometimes is lag, sometimes it's not. You know, it's just a kind of an odd twitch. I don't know if you notice it, but it's just like maybe a few frames at the most that it just drops for a second. And I think that's when the foot actually hits the ground. That might be the footstep, and it makes it seem like a footstep, so it's okay in my book. But at the same time, it's a pretty harsh step. I don't know. That may be a little too far. Maybe even cut out one of those frames. Just stop that. As far as the internet connection goes, lag with regards to that, I didn't really experience too much lag. I think I only had 2 games really where it actually lagged. And I know that's a different story for a lot of people. I just got really lucky, I guess. But I didn't have that problem, so I'm not going to really comment on the lag because, like I said, I didn't experience it too much. So, the vehicles. I feel like especially like the AT-AT, your time in the AT-AT, I'm going to say this, it's going to roll a lot of heads, but I feel like I should actually increase the time that you get in the AT-AT. However, to make up for that time, because I feel like just a minute is not long enough sometimes. It depends on if you get in it, especially right off the bat. It's just that person that gets in it first, right off the bat at the beginning of the game, just doesn't get to see any action, really. They're just kind of supporty with fire. But I feel, like I said, the time should be increased with the AT-AT. However, there should be a cooldown afterwards. There should be a set amount of time, be it the same amount of time that you're in the AT-AT or double the amount of time, that you cannot pick up the medal again, or that you can't see it, just for that one person. I feel like someone should be in that AT-AT. And I just don't like how there are so many games that I go into, and there's just one person in the AT-AT the entire time, and they're just sitting at the back of the game or whatever, or sitting right next to where the metal spawns, and they just keep hogging it. They just keep getting in it, and no one else can get in it. It's ridiculous. They're not even joining the firefight as a person. Like, be that extra man on the field. It's fine. Like, I like how supporty the AT-AT is. The AT-AT's a wonderful tool. But let other people try it. Let other people do it. I mean, there's no, like, pro AT-AT player. Like, I don't know. Just, it takes the fun out of it. I mean, it's great fun to be sitting in the AT-AT, but your teammates are kind of getting pissed at you. So, enough of that. Enough of the hogging. Now, the vehicles, such as ATSTs, the X-Wings, the A-Wings, and whatnot, I really don't think that those should be medals on the game. I feel like they should be just standard on the map, just like the old games. Now, I know I'm just threw that statement in there, just like the old games, and that means we're not progressing. But I feel like this was a very, very, very good system. I liked having those on the map. It gives other people, again, a chance to get in those vehicles and use them. I mean, yeah, you can find a medal, and both teams can find the same medal. It's one medal for two teams. It's weird, but yeah. That's fine, but you could also do the same with just having them on either side. I feel like that's more fair. I feel like that's a better system. I like that. The heroes, however, I don't think there should be medals laying on the ground, because that's just, it makes people want to just run forward and commit suicide by trying to get these things. The medal system is weird to me. Like, the AT-AT can be a medal, I don't care. But the heroes, I feel like it should be kind of like a kill streak, but not necessarily like you must get X amount of kills to get it. I feel like it should be a random, like, okay, this person's doing good, they get it. And it's random. Not the same person every time doing great over and over again gets the hero. I feel like that's a better way of getting everyone to the hero. I feel like that's how the old games work too. I liked that system. It was a good system. I don't know. Just the medal thing, like I said, or whatever you want to call it, the emblems, the medals, whatever the things you want to call them, just laying on the ground that you have to pick up. I'm not a huge fan of them. I mean, there are some that I understand, they're fine. Like the grenades and the proximity mines and whatnot. Those are cool, whatever. I would also like to see a little bit more destruction in the environment. You know, I mean, it's DICE, but that's the weapons research and development side of me coming out. But I don't know. I feel like they were a little bit, like, they were holding back. They said it in a couple of interviews. They were just like, yeah, we wanted to make it as close to the movies as possible, and that's fine. But a lot of the movies had a lot of destruction too. You don't want to take that away from them, and they were also limited in their effects. It's like, just because they didn't have it doesn't mean they didn't want to have it. They just couldn't. I feel, though, that the collisions between bullets, the projectiles, and the environment are off slightly. Now, I've only seen this on some rocks and maybe some ledges that were jutting out. But the rocks that I shot the air next to it very clearly, and I watched my bullet just disappear into the air. The sparks kind of went off. That's a good thing. We're not going to go into that right now because I'm not on the good things yet, but as far as the bad things go, I don't like that. I like my collisions to be accurate. I like my rocks to be rocks and not half air, half rock. Yes. Other gripes, I would really like to see more guns and cars to choose from at the full release. Of course, there will be. And I'd also like a secondary weapon and a real rifle to snipe with, personally, as a sniper, as someone who just enjoys accurate rifles. Anyway, we're going to move into the positives now. I don't usually rant, but I feel like it needs to be. There's a time and place to be critical, and I think that was the time and place. So as far as good things that I saw, my top number 1 and number 2 would have to be, it's a Star Wars game. Like, number 1 is a Star Wars game, number 2 it's a Star Wars game. I've been waiting for a game to be made about Star Wars for so long, so that automatically gives them like a 40 to 60% approval rating for me. Obviously the approval rating will increase as I name more things. I'm not necessarily gonna give a specific number out of 100 that I'm gonna rate this game, but I could probably come down and think about a rating system and make that work. But I'd probably give it like a 75. or so. It's a good game. I enjoyed it. Maybe, no, yeah, like 70 or 75, which is passing, but it needs work. That's kind of why I like that number. But yeah, all right, sorry, going back into this. I would like to see bigger groups, like the partner system. I like the partner system, but I want to be part of a squad, just like Battlefield. I like that idea. I like having a group of people to work with, especially when it's 20v20. Like, come on, it's huge game types. More vehicles I would like to see, sure. I like how we do more damage against the vehicles. That's very nice, because I remember in the old games, like, the only way to take them out are mines or rockets, and it's like now you can actually do ion shots and whatnot. So that's cool. I feel like the turrets are fine. They're decent. As far as overheating goes, the guns, bullet system or laser overheating system. That's a touchy subject, but I tend to like this system because even if you overheat it, that's essentially reloading, and then you can do the Gears of War style reloading system, which I think is cool. I usually use that sniper rifle most of the time anyway if I overheat to get out of a battle, because that sniper, or the cycle rifle, whatever you want to call it, is just awesome. Like, that is a hilariously amazing gun. I love it. I love it to death. That is one of my favorite guns of all time. I don't like waiting 9 seconds to use it again. That's why I got that perk that if you get headshots, your cooldowns decrease. Love it. I love it a lot. That's great. I love the idea of taking down the AT-ATs before the game. You know, like playing objectively and slaying. They mix that so well. You're playing, I don't know, it's like capture the flag / destroy the base, whatever, attackers versus defenders. It's great. I do feel like I saw, there's like an 80% chance to win if you're Empire. That's so true. It's like 80% chance. So the rebels are a little bit at a disadvantage. I feel like that needs to be scaled back maybe to like 70% or 60%. That'd be nice. But at the same time, I do realize, I acknowledge the fact that AT-ATs are hard to take down. And I mean, once you get a team that's pretty solid, they know to take down the AT-ATs every time. So you can win as rebels every time if you have a solid group. I mean, that's the 20%. So as far as that goes, that's good. The flight feels a little wonky. I don't know. Like, I can fly in Battlefield very easily, but in Battlefront, for some reason, it's the same controls almost. I just have a hard time controlling. It seems like when I'm in the air, I have a hard way of telling, or it's very hard to tell if you are close to something or far from something. I don't know. It seems like the scaling is really weird as you fly away. Now I know I'm in the positive side, but that it could be good for some and bad for others. I had a friend who was really good at the flying in this game, so that's cool. And I do like the flying in this game. Like, I like how they kept that in there. I needed that in there, so that's good. I like that a lot. The gun choice was very limited in the beta, but I mean, there was a gun for everyone. I liked that Z11 a lot. That was neat. It was very neat. It seems like a lot of people had the jetpack, which was, it was okay. It's whatever. I mean, I liked it in the co-op mode that we had. That was pretty cool. The co-op mode was cool. The horde mode, neat. It was great. It was really cool. All the different options, it was cool. The enemy couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, but that's because we are on normal mode and they're clones. So, I mean, that works out. That's perfect. That's great. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. What I would like to see are more speeders on the ground, speed bikes and whatnot. That would be neat. A lot of tanks we were missing out of. I expect to see those in the full game. I expect to see a lot of balances, and I'm hoping that like I said, the jagged edges increase, or the amount of them decrease, but they improve on those. Anyway, friends, if you like this game, if you like this gameplay, if you like this commentary, don't forget to like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch and Twitter. I am trying to get more active in those, so don't forget to support me on those, and don't forget we have a charity stream coming up in about a week and a half, if I do recall, so that'll be cool. Anyway, friends, Shadow Rockets out.